Please kill the jargon. It doesn't serve you in any way at all. Hi guys, my name's Deepak Shukla, founder at Pearl Lemon Sales. We're a sales training and development agency based in the UK as well as the USA and serving clients worldwide. And here today in day 24 of 119 days of cold calling training, we're here to talk about the challenge that you'll all have of killing that jargon. But before we get into it, feel free to click the link below to get an additional 17 strategies not shared in this training. So to build upon the insights in training number 23, skip the preamble, you really should be mindful of anything that constitutes as jargon, okay? And there is jargon in every damn industry, okay? Every damn industry. And you should be very, very careful with how you, that's really a crap C, isn't it? You should be really careful, C for careful, with how you use jargon, okay? Even I say even within sales training, there's BDR, there's SDR, there's inside sales, there's outside sales, there's field sales, there's account rep, there's account executive, there's AM. There's all of these acronyms and elements of jargon. And to be honest with you, the only time that you should consider using jargon is when it's been introduced, I for introduced, right? You should only use jargon when it's been introduced by your prospect, okay? It's been introduced by your prospect. If you're using jargon prior to that, then the problem is that you're going to be in danger of getting in the way of the objective of the call because people are busy trying to understand, well, what does that what the bloody hell does that mean? If you say, for example, I'm going to help you build your team of inside sales reps, then if you say that to a company that specializes in, let's say, graphic design or manufacturing or whatever it might be, that might be exactly what they need, but the use of technical terms might completely lose them. And that's the problem that you're going to face fundamentally when you get into the bones of using technical jargon. And the challenge of this is that you, depending upon the remit, might be given technical jargon by your actual, for example, sales manager, by your actual founder, and it needs to be really tactically and carefully used. Brilliant. I've just got my drawing back on. So please do, just please stay away. Oh, hold on. Let's see if I can see if I'm trying to. I have no idea what I'm doing now. Here we go. Please stay away from. Here we go. Stay away from using jargon fundamentally because it's really not going to serve you well. There's always going to be challenges that do come up, and the way to think about this is if you get into a conversation with a prospect and because you're so used to the industry, where you do find you need to use some jargon, offer jargon with an explanation of what the jargon is. So, for example, on the SEO side of our business, we'll always say SEO or search engine optimization. The reason why we specifically use that terminology, SEO or search engine optimization, because it's a way of explaining it whilst fundamentally highlighting that we are familiar with the technical term, but we'll give both examples depending upon the listener's comfort with it. So when you're using any, if you must use jargon, then explain what the jargon is, okay? And find a way to explain the jargon naturally, okay? Wow, my handwriting's bad. But you know what I mean. Explain the jargon naturally and don't dwell too long on the jargon, okay? Don't dwell too long on the jargon because it will just confuse the prospect, okay? It's going to confuse the prospect, and that's going to be a problem that's going to get in the way of the end goal of the actual pitch itself, right? So I see this happen a lot. I think that there's an alarming number of ways that this can just kind of bleed into your pitch, but it's something that you need to be really mindful of and make sure when you build your script that it's not, wow, look at that. That is just such terrible handwriting, isn't it? Just make sure it's not part of your script, okay? So a good way to make sure that you cut it out is to have a strong script and to ensure that where you are using jargon, you give the explanation, because that's what's going to be important to you, alongside fundamentally then moving on to an example of what that actually means, okay? So try and stay away from jargon because it's going to only get in the way. And if you have to use jargon, explain what it is and explain it in simple terms. So in reading, they call it, I think, the Hemingway test. What is the reading age of the content you produce? And generally speaking, the simpler, let's try that again. Oh, wow, I didn't know you could do that. The simpler you can make stuff, the more effective you'll be when you fundamentally communicate, okay? So please do, as they say, kill the jargon.
Remember, we've got 17 gated strategies just waiting for you. All you need to do is bing, subscribe, as well as click the link in the description below to get access to those 17. Get some.